Okay, so let's start. Beautiful to be with you. Always a pleasure to be here, teaching or teaching. Teaching is not even the word. Exploring this beautiful practice that I love, which is meditation. I started meditating back in 2005 in a regular pace, so it's 21 years that I just meditate almost every day. Sometimes I miss it, but most of the time I don't. I love to meditate. Meditation is a field that you walk in through different techniques. And the purpose of this particular seminar tonight is to talk about the Three Bhavanas. We spoke about it last month, and I think that it makes sense to spend one more seminar to explore them and practice them together. Actually, last seminar we were not able to practice them together, so tonight we are going to focus on that mostly. And to me, these three meditations make a lot of sense. When I study meditation and when you connect with me and I explain meditation from my perspective, from my experience. You know that I wrote the book, The Five Doorways, and basically all of that knowledge or ideas or program is based on Patanjali's sutras and the 4 steps towards the practice of meditation, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, but I'm missing one, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Those are the 4 steps towards the practice of meditation that I base all what I teach. And the reason for that is because I basically study Vedanta, and all of that is coming from the Vedanta tradition. So after that, I would also say that I never study Buddhism or and I don't have any connection with these practices. I haven't explored Buddha's life. I haven't explored all his teachings. So it's not something that I would say I know at all. But still, these 3 techniques I think that are very interesting. They are inclusive. There are techniques that will help you, and hopefully today I think that we can practice them and you can recognize how they can help you on your practice. So the main idea of this seminar is to encourage you to practice meditation and giving you the most possible techniques I know or knowledge I have, or ideas or tips or suggestions about how to meditate, on how to approach this practice. As I say in the beginning, it's a field. It's a field that you want to walk in, and regardless the technique that you use. In order to walk into a field, you need to somehow go through some sort of path or some sort of way, and these are the techniques, the different techniques that we usually explore here, and these 3 bhavanas are part of this. So let's recap a little bit. I'm not going to go through all what I did last time, or I'm going to go again, but just faster and not exploring so much about it, because you have the recording also. So if you missed it last time, you can go to the recording. I send the recording to all of you. If you miss it or you want to have it and you don't know where to find it, you can go to my website, go to my YouTube channel, which is linked in my website, and then you have it. But still, you can contact me and I'll send you the link. Basically, you can listen to that. It's about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, maybe 1 hour, but there is a practice, so you don't need to go through the practice if you don't want, but you can listen to what we were saying about the 3 bhavanas. But let's start again, and let's do it quickly, and then you can understand what I'm talking about. So when we go through the techniques, the first, the 3 bhavanas mostly are the 3 Buddhist meditations, even though Buddha seems not to ever taught Metta Bhavana, loving kindness Bhavana, still are part of the Buddhist tradition. And most people that meditate through these techniques understand Metta Bhavana like a great entry door towards the practice of meditation. Sincerely, I believe, you know, that I am very focused on the heart. Every time that you get into one of my classes, I will probably mention the heart more than one time. And to me, the heart is basically the connection with our real self. No, we have all these survival things like grounding and energy and sexuality and, you know, all the physicality in our life in one side, and then in the other side we have all this intellectuality and all this intellect and all these ideas and the ego and the mind and the intellect working constantly in an endless way. But then we have the heart, the emotional side, the emotional part of ourselves. To me, the heart is the bridge. This is not something that I come up with. It's something that Osho, the greatest meditation teacher, said. He said that the heart is the bridge between the physical chakras and the intellectual chakras, to call them somehow. And the chakras are 7, so the 3 on the bottom would be called the physical chakras, or the most grossest chakras, and then the subtle chakras, the expression, the intuition, and the spiritual chakra could be called the intellectuals or more subtle chakras. And he refers to the heart as the bridge, which is a concept that I completely agree with, because I believe that when we are establishing our heart, we become a better self, we become better beings. And the heart is then the door or the doorway that help us to connect with our real self. Kind of putting together as a bridge, putting together our physicality, our survival, our instinctual side, and the other side, putting both together and then connecting with the emotional side. It's like a thermostat, and that's why we are emotional beings. Now, Metta Bhavana, which is the first one, the translation of Metta Bhavana is loving kindness. So Metta Bhavana is a meditation in which definitely we are going to work on the heart. And that is something that I love. And the reason is very simple. I deeply believe, not because I believe it intellectually, because also I experience it. It makes sense intellectually to me, but I experience it. When you establish yourself within your heart, it's much more easier to meditate. And the reason is that usually meditation gets complicated when we are establishing our ego, because our ego and our intellect are constantly talking and saying, what are you doing? This is a, waste of time. Why are you losing your time doing this? And blah, 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 blah. Or you just are engaged in whatever. I have a fight with my partner, or I have an argument with my kids or my family or my neighbor or whatever. You name it. Whatever you want to go, there is a list. As there is a list of 100 things that we are completely thankful for, grateful for. For sure, there is a list of 100 things on the other side that you hate and that you don't want to go. And then depends on you where you are. What list? In which list are you gonna hold today? And my recommendation is always to, hold on the hard list, loving kindness, because the other list, even there, it's not very helpful. It's going to probably ruin your day. And it's not about denial or blind eye. It's that it's a decision you take every morning. When you wake up in the morning, where are you going to put your energy? In the end, your energy is temporary. It's not that you have energy for, living, 1,000 years, and you have a lot of energy coming and coming and coming. Our energy is temporary, so you want to be conservative with it and put it in the right place. After that, say, let's go to our business. Metta Bhavana is based on that. That's why I love it. In the second meditation, Samatha Bhavana means tranquility. Samatha means tranquility. It's based on focusing your attention on an object. You hear this concept from me. Because when we study meditation through my system, which is not my system, it's Patanjali's system, but through my 5 doorways, we talk about focusing your attention on an object, like the second step. Pratyahara means redirecting your senses inward. Dharana means focusing your attention on an object. Make sense? Any questions until now? You follow me? If you have any questions, stop me. And I know that I am kind of putting a lot of information there, but if you have any questions, if you get lost, if you say, I don't get it, or also my British accent interfere with the understanding, just let me know. But basically, samatha, which means tranquility, the idea of samatha is that when you focus your attention on an object, you are going to gain tranquility. And it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because you cannot have 2 thoughts at the same time. You hear this from me too. So if you're focusing your attention on an object, that's a thought. In the end, that's a thought. Everything is a thought. In the end, everything is a thought. So when you focus your attention on an object, then you're not going to be able to have all the thoughts because you are here. That's why we use mantras. That's what I always say. Hey, mantras are a real, very good way to develop meditation, because when you are repeating a mantra, it's like you are holding, it's like an anchor. You're holding in there, and then you are just focusing your attention. So this combination is the combination I would like to practice now, because I want you to feel how much easier it is to focus your attention on an object when you previously open your heart, when you previously sort of prepare the terrain, prepare the soil of your heart in order to jump into this field called meditation, which actually meditation is like an state. The field is consciousness. Meditation is the possibility to access to your inner consciousness, to connect with that universal consciousness. So let's practice that, and then we go into Vipassana and explain Vipassana a little bit. So basically, on Metta Bhavana, you want to develop this sort of feeling of benevolence, compassion, or love, as you wish, within. It's an inward feeling. How you develop that, how you do that? Well, it's a very simple way. Create a clear object of attention. For example, something that you are grateful for. One thing that I always use is the relationship with my kids. I love them. They're beautiful. Of course, I am his father, so that's why I believe that they are beautiful. Maybe other people think that they're beautiful. But for me, they're beautiful and they're amazing, and I love them, and it's great. So that's easy for me because that's a clear object of attention. I just think about them. I think about their face. I think about what I love about them. I think about their energy. I think about my relationship with them, which fortunately is good. I am just sharing. You don't need to use that. You can bring up or decide that your clear object of attention is that yesterday you bought the new iPhone. And what is the problem with that? Because you maybe feel very grateful about it. Okay? It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be material, it could be spiritual, it could be ethereal. Make any sense? You want to create or bring a very clear object of attention, and then you're going to focus in there, and then that will bring you that feeling of compassion, love, or benevolence within. Gratitude, basically. Gratitude because you have that. Gratitude because you somehow love that situation, you feel complete in there. Then if you really practice Metta Bhavana, which we are not going to practice today, we are going to just develop that feeling, because if not, we are not going to have time to go through the entire thing. Then you develop this sort of feeling of benevolence, love, and compassion within, and then you start from the easiest way to the most difficult way. What that means? Well, you start bringing this feeling within you, and then you start sending the feeling out towards a reverend teacher, towards the people that you love, towards your friend, towards your acquaintances, to end to your enemies, and to end to the entire planet. So from the simple, more easiest one would be a river teacher, or could be someone that you deeply love, or some guidance in your life, someone that you are completely, thankful to have, to the end of the scope, or the other side of the scope, that you can call them enemies, or people that you have holding grievance, or some sort of not very good connection, and then finally the end of the entire planet. Because at this moment, as we are doing this, people is sleeping, eating, walking, loving, climbing, jumping, swimming, name it. 6,000,000,000 people, 6 billion people in this planet living. So in the end, all of this is connection. In the end, what we want to develop is this deeper awareness of connection, because we are part of this story. We are not separated from this story, even though most of us will live, as what Alan Watts said, in this skin encapsulated ego, and our entire life is developed through that sort of perception. In reality, we are just a little piece in this beautiful system called planet Earth, in this beautiful system called universe. So when you somehow explore Metta Bhavana, then this open up, because your heart open up, and that's the power of the heart to me. When we establish ourselves in our heart, all that idea open up for you to jump in and say, yeah, this is the place in which I want to be. So today we're going to just develop that feeling. Okay, I want you to connect with that feeling. You need to pick up something, a relationship, a, a something material, something spiritual, maybe you are working on some project, and someone call you and say, thumbs up, let's do it, and then you are so happy, and then you have this feeling of gratitude within you. Whatever it is, maybe your life, maybe you just feel very grateful for what you have at this moment. That's a feeling. So you want to connect with that feeling and put it in here. After we connect with that, then I'll guide you through Samatha, which is tranquility, which you practice with me. I'm going to guide you to connect with your breathing, basically. You're going to focus your attention on your breathing. And as you focus your attention on your breathing, hopefully you gain some tranquility, which is a translation of Samatha. Any questions? Nope. Can we move into this? Yes, thumbs up. Good. Close your eyes. I'm going to sip my mate. Close your eyes and relax yourself. And the first thing that you really want to do is to connect with your body, in touch with the seat in which you are seated. Your legs, your back, your glutes. Connect. Feel yourself grounded. Keep relaxing Keep relaxing your feet, your legs. Keep relaxing your pelvis. Keep relaxing your spine. Keep relaxing your stomach and chest. Relax your shoulders. Move your attention towards your head. Relax your neck. Swallow a few times so you connect with your throat. Relax your face muscles. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your brow. From the tip of your toes to the crown of your head, connect with your entire body. Feel your entire body. And as you connect, feel the energy that flows through your beautiful body. Now, for a moment, shift your attention towards your breathing. Connect with your breathing as it goes in and out. There goes in, there goes out, and you connect. And then finally, shift your attention towards your heart and start the process to establish yourself within your heart, feeling your heart, feeling your heart pumping, feeling the presence of your heart, feeling or shifting your attention towards the center of your chest where your heart is. Connect with that particular beautiful organ, your heart, and all the energy and sensations that our heart holds. After you feel a little bit more connected, then start bringing this feeling of gratitude towards your heart. So every time that you inhale, you bring gratitude into your heart. And every time that you exhale, you send that gratitude away from your heart. So slowly but constantly, keep building this inward feeling of gratitude within your heart. As you inhale, you fill your heart. As you exhale, you empty your heart. And you keep bringing in and bringing out this feeling of gratitude. as soon as you feel surrounded by this feeling of gratitude within, shift your attention towards your breathing and slowly focus your attention on your breathing. Let go of the heart and now connect with your breathing. And that is the only main object of your attention, your breathing. As your mind flies away, you bring your mind back and you keep connecting with your breathing. Now gently stop your connection with your breathing and just connect with what is surrounding you, maybe the sounds and noises around, whatever is surrounding you. And when you feel ready, open your eyes. So we're going to practice this again, but basically, I deeply believe, I experience it, when you start bringing this connection with your heart, then focusing your attention becomes an easier task, which usually is not very easier. Yeah, focusing our attention on an object, it requires years of discipline to really develop samatha. That's why vipassana, I kind of put it always, like a part. Okay, yes, we are going to practice vipassana, but how you practice vipassana if you're not strong on samatha, if you're not strong on really being able to focus your attention, being completely focused on an object. And as I said before, I think that when we start the practice with some sort of loving kindness, we start bringing this feeling of gratitude within, then it's easier. It's not as hard to focus. It's like the heart can sort of open up and soften the path towards meditation. So I would like to hear from you what your experience were when you practiced this. And please be honest, tell me exactly what happened. If you were able, mostly the questions would be, were you able to bring this feeling of gratitude within your heart, yes or no? Were you able to feel it? Were you able to, was this a comfortable experience? And then how you transitioning into samatha. Just a couple um, responses about your experience right now. Just let me know. Who wants to start? Oh, I can hear you, Nancy, for some reason. Let me see if it's me. No, my thing is okay.
No, she's on.
I talk a little bit. No, unfortunately, I can't hear you. Can you hear her? No, no. Check your mic because you mute your mic and then you unmute it. So check the input. If you go to the audio, so on the bottom you should have audio. On the left, click the arrow, audio settings, and then right there you have the output and the input. If you click in there, maybe the input is low. No. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, someone else. I'm sorry, my dear.
I'll go.
Yes.
Just like with meditation, once I found the feeling of the loving, object, it still was hard to hold on to it. Like my mind is just still really busy with stuff from work, and so
Yeah.
just was having a little bit of a hard time getting there and staying there.
Okay. Excellent. And were you able to transitioning into one point of focusing?
A little bit, but then I just had to keep coming back to it, like because my mind would wander, come back to it, wander, come back to it.
Perfect. This is exactly how it works and how you develop samatha, and that's why it requires years of training, because you are not going to be able to, I mean, yeah, it may happen, but that's not the normal thing to happen. The normal thing to happen for our mind is to just go away. It's constant. This is constant. Our mind is constantly going away, even when we are doing something. Suddenly, our mind flies away. The normal thing for our mind is when if you're cooking, then you're doing something, even though you maybe know how to do it, then you are just focusing in there. Your mind is not going all over the place. If you are doing something that you love, your mind is going to be completely there. If you are doing a very difficult task, your mind is going to be able to focus. So the ability to focus is there. The problem is that our mind tends to fly away, and mostly in these subtle situations in which we focus our attention in our breathing. So you focus, you focus, you focus, and then you say, what I am doing, and then your mind flies away. Mhm. But perfect. Thank you for the input. What about you, dear Carol?
I haven't I think about my grandsons, so of course my heart expands because
Mm-hmm.
they are gorgeous. And then I kind of get, it's almost cloudy, like it just kind of drifts a bit. I'm not really thinking, but I'm not really not thinking either.
Mm.
It's just kind of cloudy and unfocused, but it's very pleasant, and I
Okay.
get to spend
Excellent.
time there.
Excellent. All right. What about you, Kathy?
I'm going to have to agree with the other ladies. I know the mind begins to wander and you have to keep bringing it back. And it was doing that. It was doing its job um, of wandering. But like you said, it does take a lot of practice and years and years. But it was lovely. It was very calming. And
yeah, the idea is basically that the idea is that being able to bring this feeling of gratitude, and then you develop this sort of benevolence or compassion or love within. Practice that. Just practice. Think about things that you love, things that make you feel good, and then just bring that gratitude. The important technique is the using breathing. I think that breathing is great for this. You breathe in, you feel your heart, you breathe out, you send that energy out. Move that energy. So you are able to bring the energy in, and then you are able to send that energy out. That's what Metta Bhavana is. Check the previous email, but the previous video, and you will be guided on the practice of Metta Bhavana. But again, you bring this feeling, and then you start bringing in and thinking about, I don't know, your great teacher, your most revered teacher, and then you bring in, and then you feel the gratitude within for having this person, and then you breathe out and you send that energy out to that person for having this person in your life. It doesn't matter if the person is alive or not. Makes sense? So you bring in and you breathe out, you breathe in and you breathe out, and then this love thing start working in and out. And then you go to the people that raise you, like your parents, people that support your upbringing, and then you just connect with that, and then you bring this feeling of gratitude in and out, and then your friends, and then your acquaintances, and then your enemies, and then the entire planet. Practice this. I think that when we are able to even have the reluctancy to send love to our enemies, that's a great thing, because they are great teachers. That's how it is. Enemies are really great teachers, because they put ourselves in a very uncomfortable place. And nobody wants to have enemies. Nobody wants to hate people, but we all do have these type of problems. And then we want to explore this situation. We don't want to put it by the side and say, I'm perfect and whatever. We really want to face this type of situation. And this is a perfect practice. But again, the most important part is the feeling, and then you just embrace that in the way that you want. You embrace it, you embrace it, you embrace it. And then when this softens yourself, you feel it. Most of you were saying, yeah, it's beautiful to be there. And then you start practicing Samatha, which is inwards, focusing your attention. Breathing. Breathing is a perfect way to practice Samatha. Yeah, you can focus on your heart if you want. You can focus on your body. The 5 doorways are that, basically, breathing, body, heart. And then you cannot focus on your mind, because your mind is going all over the place. So there is not a place to focus on your mind, but you can focus on a yantra, on that thing that I have in the back. That's something that, look at the cameras. They are into the camera when it's incredible. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. It's automatic. So someone is in here moving the camera up and down. But that thing in there, if you focus on that, that's a yantra. And if you focus, that's a great way to practice samatha. Yantras. You can focus on a candle. When you focus on a candle, that's another great way to focus your attention on an object. Makes sense? All right. So let's do this. Let's practice a little bit of samatha, of all of this together, but let's talk a little bit about what vipassana is. Okay. So vis means in, and passana means side, seen in a particular way, seen clearly. That's what it means. Vipassana is an inside meditation. So you want to be very mindful about all the thoughts that you are going through. You're going to go through sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. That's what you're going to go through. And you want to be very mindful about all what is going on. The only difference is that instead to get attached to it, you want to just observe it. For example, something that happened today. Let me think about it. I have to see this person today. And I have some sort of kind of not a good thing yesterday. Was kind of something there. Wasn't easy, but I have to see them today, this person today. And then for me, that moment brings some discomfort. At the moment that I walk in and see the person, brings some discomfort. So let's say that all of this came today in my meditation. So I am closing my eyes and then boom, this situation pop into my head as I grab it, I just choose it to show you. So probably it's going to bring discomfort. Probably it's going to bring some sort of the same feeling or the same images or the same thoughts or the same ideas into my mind. It's something that happened yesterday, today, so probably it pop up. So when something like this pop up, and I am just using this as an example, I have two choices. I have to see it. I have the choice to see it, observe it, or I have the choice to get in and say, yeah, that happened because you, blah, 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 blah. And that's attachment, which is what most of us will usually do. If I would be practicing Vipassana, I would say, oh, that happened to me. And that's it. Make any sense? So that's the idea of Vipassana. So you are going to observe. In observing in detachment, which in the yoga tradition is called samadhi, witnessing awareness. In observing in detachment, then you gain the insight. The insights are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. I'm not going to go into that, but basically the insights are impermanence, the suffering or discomfort in life, and the non-self, understanding the non-self. Those are the three things in which Buddha explored Vipassana. I'm not going to go into that because it's not something that I really know as I know all the type of meditations, and also because we don't have the time. And the idea is not to, exactly the opposite, is not to intellectualize about any of this. The idea is exactly not to intellectualize. You are going to just observe whatever is happening. It's not an easy practice, but let's try it and then let's see. And let's do the same exercise. After that, you will tell me what's going on. Make sense? All right, so let's practice this. Close your eyes, and I got you through the entire meditation, practicing a little bit of loving kindness, a little bit of samatha, focusing our attention. And then at some point, I will ask you to let it go and just observe what's going on. So close your eyes, relax yourself, take a moment. As you close your eyes, observe your body. How is your body today? Maybe you feel tired, maybe you feel constricted, maybe you feel relaxed. Maybe you feel with a lot of energy. Whatever you feel, just connect with it. If you're tired, you're tired. If you have energy, you have energy. Doesn't matter, you can be for 10 minutes doing this, 15 minutes doing this, so it's not a big deal. The same about your emotions. How do you feel? You can dedicate 10, 15 minutes to do this. even if you don't feel particularly well at this moment. Or maybe you feel very well and very good, and then you enjoy that. Now, for a moment, shift your attention towards your breathing and connect with your breathing. Deep inhalations and deep exhalations to bring some sort of energy movement within. Now connect with both your breathing and your body as you breathe through your body. And then shift your attention towards your heart and connect with your heart. And then as you connect with your heart, connect with your heartbeat, the presence of your heart, or just place your attention in the center of your being, your heart. And then you may use the same object of attention or any other object of attention to develop benevolence, compassion, love. So spend time to create this feeling within your heart. Every time that you inhale, you bring that feeling of gratitude within your heart. Every time that you exhale, you move that gratitude away towards the universe. So you become this radiant light of benevolence, compassion, and love spreading from your heart. Just practice this. Take a moment now and practice this, opening your heart. As your mind flies away, as you find yourself thinking about something else, feeling discomfort, just stop, bring your mind back, and start again. Opening your heart. Keep connecting, keep building this expansion of your gratitude within. Shift your attention towards your heart and feel your heart full of this gratitude. And every time that you inhale, you keep filling your heart with this. And every time that you exhale, you keep sending out that feeling from your heart. Use breathing to embrace this energy within and without. I breathe in, my heart expands full of love. I breathe out, my heart sends out all this love. Once you feel ready, shift your attention towards your nose and connect with your breathing. There goes in, there goes out, and you connect with that. And as your mind flies away, you just bring your mind back and connect with your breathing. I breathe in, air goes in, my lungs expand. I breathe out, air goes out, my lungs move down. At some point, after bringing some calmness through your focusing, just release and observe. Observe whatever is coming. And as it is coming, you just let it go. All these sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts are temporary. Observe how temporary they are. Connect. Keep your eyes softly closed for a moment. Start connecting with what is surrounding you. And when you feel ready, you open your eyes. So this you have, I hope you have the idea on how to practice this. So you want to emphasize the first two for sure. Those are the ones that you really want to practice to begin with. You really want to develop this sort of familiarity with bringing these feelings within your heart and being able to breathe in and breathe out, being able to handle that energy in and out, because it's energy, period. It's energy that you have. Yeah? That's what it's called emotion, energy in motion. So you want to understand that. After you understand that, then you feel like, oh yeah, I can handle this. I can bring this in and bring this out. And the idea of going from the easiest to the most complicated is a perfect training, because it's easy for you to send love to the person you love, right? So you think about the person and say, oh, I love this person. And then you send love, sending that love, right? But sending that love to a person that you don't love at all, that's not that easy. So you want to create that. It's a perfect training. And then after you create that training, then you start practicing dharana, which is samatha, focusing your attention on an object. It's something that you can practice separated. I recommend to do it together. And again, you will feel that practicing samatha could be a little bit tough. If you close your eyes and say, focus your attention on my breathing, focus, it's like a lack of preparation. Metta somehow is a good preparation for samatha. So you prepare yourself, you slow down, you feel like, oh yeah, I love this. Yeah, I feel good. And then as you feel good, then you start focusing your attention on an object. Don't get frustrated. Your mind is going to fly away 1,000 times. And that's why it's like walking. You walk one block, and then you walk two, then you walk three. Then one day you walk 10,000 steps, and you say, it's fun. But if I make you walk 10,000 steps, you probably feel, no, I can't do this. Makes sense? So it's training. That's all. That's what I meant. It's training. So that's it. And then Vipassana is a little bit more complicated because it requires a lot of training. It requires a lot of comprehension. Like if you really want to understand all these things. And yeah, it's very interesting because it seems easier to practice. It's like, okay, I do nothing. I just observe. But at some point, I feel that I am not there. I feel like a wall in there, like I am just crashing a wall. Now, focusing your attention, that's a different story, because when you're really developing that sort of ability, then you will feel the calmness. And I believe, again, that preparing the soul before the developing samatha with Metta Bhavana is a great way. Any questions, any feedback? How was it? Do you understand the concept? Let's start from there. Do you understand the concept of the three bhavanas? Yes, no, a little bit. Have doubts in there, questions in there? Good? We are good? Okay, perfect. So any feedback, anything that you didn't go through, or you feel, what this is about? Any questions about it? No questions? Good. Okay, perfect. So if you have any questions, you have any doubt, and if you have any hesitation about this, just text me, email me, contact me, call me, and then we talk about it. And then I hopefully can give you an answer. But these are ways that these are techniques that you can add to your regular practice. That's basically it. And that's why I do the Three Bhavanas, because I think that they are very inclusive, very easy to understand and to go through, and also easy to practice and have. All right. Thank you so much for your time. It's beautiful to be with you. And then we meet next time in a month or so.
Thank you.
Less
Thank
than a
you.
month. It's going to be 3 weeks.
Thank you.
Have a
My
good
Did you
night.
pleasure.
did you have a happy birthday?
I did have a very amazing birthday. It was beautiful. My kids were coming with their partners, and my partner was there, and my stepson, I would say, I would call him. It's more like a friend than a son, but it's still, he was there. So it was very nice. We were having dinner in a Mexican restaurant, and I just, I just somehow submerge myself in margaritas.
Perfect.
Good
So
way to
Excellent
put
choice.
it make the thing much better.
Yes.
All right. So
Okay.
beautiful to be with you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.